Imagine being, what, 14, finding out that you're pregnant. Yeah, it's crazy scenes. Absolutely crazy scenes. Hey, I'm back with another one, guys, and today, as you can see by the title, it's all about me being a teen mum. Well, I was a teen mum. I'm not anymore. I'm a grown-ass woman now. So this has been like a highly requested video for a little while now, because the people on TikTok, they ask questions about Anton. They asked me how old I was. Like, there's just so much going on. So do you know what? I thought, let me just make a quick YouTube video and just cover all bases, so that whenever you guys ask me questions, I can just be like, you know what, check out my YouTube video. Let's just get straight to the point. Do you know what I mean? Check out the YouTube video and all your answers are there. I've got my work phone here and I've written down some notes because I want to make sure that I touch all bases and I don't leave anything out, because you don't just keep asking me the same question. And it's fine. I don't have a problem, but you know, like when you keep repeating yourself, it's almost a bit like, ugh. So yeah, it's just easy for me to do one long video and then you guys can just keep referring back to this video, basically. So just a quick introduction. My name's AshleeTianne and I'm a mother of two beautiful boys. I have a son, almost 14, called Anton, and I have a 2.5-year-old called Zion. So yeah, I've got two boys. So put it this way, I'm going to be 29 and my son's going to be 14. So yeah, I was a teen mum. Okay, let's just cut the crap. Okay, let's just dive straight into it. I was a teen mum. Oh, no, thank you. I'll put you on silent. Yeah, I was a teen mum, and this is my story. So yeah, let's just get straight into this, basically. So we'll start off with a quick story time of how I found out I was pregnant, and then when I told my family, my parents, my people, them. Yeah, okay. So let's just make this nice and quick. So I technically found out when I was close to the 6-month mark of being pregnant. That's when I found out that I was officially pregnant. And yes, I was still in school. I was in year 11. And how I found out was I took myself to the clinic. Yes, that's what I did. To the clinic to basically just do normal checks and whatever. And was doing my normal checks and whatnot. And the nurse wanted to tell me that I was pregnant. And I was like, whoa. Not joking. Actually, be serious. This is some real shit. But no, honestly, guys, I took myself to the clinic to basically do a normal check. I thought it was going to be a normal clinic visit. Previous to this, I had been to the clinic before to do a normal check as well. And this time was completely different. Let's put it that way. Because this time, she wanted to tell me that I was pregnant. And then she wanted to call, was it a doctor at the time? I think she wanted to call a doctor. Either way, she wanted to call another professional in for just basically for a second check, basically, just to make sure what she was seeing was correct. And yeah, it was correct. Found out I was pregnant there and then. They have to call my parents because I'm underage. So they decided to call my mum. I say decided, they had to call my mum. They had no choice. I was underage. So they called my mum, and during that time of them calling my mum, isn't it mad that my mum actually told me that when they called her, she already knew what was happening. Mother instincts is real shit. So she already had a gut feeling about what the conversation was going to be about. And put it this way, during that conversation, because they actually had this conversation on the phone to my mum outside of the room, but they actually had to lock me in the room because they had fear that I was basically going to run away. And the honest truth is, at that point, I could have run away. Yeah, I could have run away, because imagine being, what, 14, finding out that you're pregnant. Yeah, it's crazy scenes. Absolutely crazy scenes. So I can have this conversation with you guys and smile and laugh because I'm over the hardship, if that makes sense. But during the time, there was no laughter. Yeah, there was no smiles. There was no laughter. There was no smiles, okay? So, you know, normally nowadays when women find out that they're pregnant and they're of like a more secure age, they're all jumping up and down and woo! You know, and they FaceTime their people, woo! Yeah, no, it was none of that, unfortunately. Because I was a baby girl. I was just a baby girl. But anyway, so that was that. They called my mum, and obviously my mum came down, and my mum was there within no time because it was literally down the road from our house. And I just remember me and my mum crying together, literally just crying. And I think there was so many different emotions within that time. I feel guilty because for that to be my mum's first experience of becoming a grandmother, I can imagine that that wasn't the best experience for her. So I do feel guilty when it comes to that side of things, because, you know, when you find out you're about to become a grandmother for the first time, it should be so joyful. It should be good times. It should be good vibes. And unfortunately, the situation that we was in, it wasn't good vibes straight away, but it did become good vibes. Yeah, okay, so just wait me, I'm gonna get there. But it did become a happy moment, do you know what I mean? But that first few moments, yeah, it wasn't great. And I just remember us like kind of sitting down once we got home and being like, so what now? Like, what happens with school? What happens with just with my life? Like, is this my life going completely left? Is it going to go right? Like, it's just so many things going in your head, yeah. And you got to remember, I was 14. So for all these things to go on in my head at the age of 14, it's a scary place, a very, very scary place. And I want to use this moment here to kind of give words of wisdom to all of those, I don't know, I'm pretty sure there's many young girls at the moment that are probably going through what I went through nearly 14 years ago. And I want to use this moment to kind of say to you guys that I promise you, it's going to be okay. And it's weird because when you're in the moment of things, you don't actually see the good ending. You don't see it, okay? And I just want to confirm, I did not see it, guys. For a very long time, I didn't see it. But once all my immediate family found out, and that including like my cousins, my aunt, my uncle, my dad, like once everybody in my immediate circle found out, and this isn't even, I'm not talking about friends yet, but my immediate family circle found out, there was a weight lifted off my shoulders, because not one of my family members judged me, not one of my family members changed towards me. We just all pulled together, and that's just how I believe it should go. But unfortunately, it doesn't go that way for everybody. Not everybody has supportive parents, supportive cousins, supportive uncles and aunts and whatever. That, like, a lot of people don't have that support network, which makes things 10 times harder. But for me, I had that instantly. Like, we're allowed to have moments where it's not all rainbows and unicorns. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But it doesn't mean that it's not going to get to that. And remembering that is really important. But obviously, like I said, it's a lot harder to take that in when you're going through a situation like this in that moment at such a young age. So I do get it, but I promise you, like, it's going to be okay. Like, you're going to get there, but it's really weird. You have to want to get there, and I wanted to get there. Like, I wanted to give Anton the world. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I wanted to give him a good life. I wanted him to have this and that. So I had no choice but to power on. Do you get what I mean? And then I think when the people around you see that you're getting on with it, and the people around you see how hard you're working, the people around you see how good you want things to be, your village does come together as well. But which is really hard to say, but you have to show people around you what you're really about. Do you get what I mean? Especially in situations like this, like, okay, you're going to be a teen mom. Do you know what this means? Do you know what you've got to do? Do you know that your life is going to be slightly different to your friends? And don't get it twisted, guys. I'll speak on that as well, like being a teen mum, like actually being a teen mum whilst all your other friends are not teen mums. I will speak about that. But then obviously, I had to tell my dad. My dad obviously lived in a separate property to us. And honestly, guys, telling my dad was easy peasy lemon squeezy. Crazy, yeah, I know. And once again, I know that not everyone's going to have this type of experience, but my experience was fine telling my dad. Was I nervous before telling my dad? Yes, I definitely was nervous. And I remember me and my sister arranging for us to go to my dad's house to tell him, basically. Like, he didn't know over the phone. We just said, oh, we're coming to visit. And then we told him in person. And it was fine. I remember like a week or so later, us going to get the pram, us going to get, you know, all the things that we needed. And I think during that moment was when I was like, you know what, this is actually going to be okay. Like I've got this, I've got family, like, this is going to be okay. Whether the outside world understands me or not is fine, but I've got my family and it's going to be okay. So that really did change things, especially telling my dad and him being absolutely fine with it. Whether he was disappointed or whatever his emotions truly were, he didn't show them to me. He just showed me the good bits, and that's what I needed. So I'm grateful for that. And unfortunately, I'm not able to sit in a position now and talk to him and really ask him what was running through his head. But because I was his baby girl, I was his youngest child, so I'm pretty sure his head was going crazy. But he didn't show me that side, and I'm grateful for that. So yeah. So yeah, that's that part in regards to how I found out and how my family found out. It probably sounds like so short, because it was, guys. Like, finding out you're pregnant and about to have a baby basically in 3 months' time, there's not really much time to kind of sit down and take it all in. Everything is a rush. Everything is quick. Everything's happening very fast. And because I found out so late, I had to do quite frequent checks in order for them to check that the baby was okay and that I was okay within myself and whatever. And the honest truth is, I don't actually remember the next few days after me finding out I was pregnant. I don't remember how school went. I don't remember that part. But I do remember coming up to the part where I was genuinely starting to show I wasn't actually going to school and I was learning from home. And because it was around the GCSE time, they had to send me all my GCSE books home. I had to do my revision from home and whatever. So I remember that part. I remember the part, where I gave birth literally a month before my 15th birthday. Because so many of you are asking me how old I was. I was 14 years old. It was a month before my 15th birthday. Okay. But I know that a lot of the time when people ask me, I normally say 15 because that first month was just such a blur. But it was a month before my 15th birthday. Let me just confirm that. Flatline, done. Don't ask me no more questions. I said what I see. Okay. Yes, it's crazy. I was a baby girl. I was a baby girl having a baby. Okay. So, yeah, and I just remember me obviously having Anton and then having to go back to school literally within the next 2 months in order for me to finish my GCSEs and do all my exams and my mocks and whatever. So literally from the moment of finding out up until like the next 5 months, everything was very much a blur. So I found out around the 6 month mark, I was going to have a baby in 3 months. I then had to go back to school within the next 2 months of me giving birth to Anton in order for me to finish my GCSEs. So you guys can imagine that period of time was a head loss for me. I almost feel a bit emotional, actually. Even sitting here now and talking about it, I do feel a bit emotional because it's almost like, wow. I went through something crazy and I will never be able to explain to anybody, not even you lot, how that time of my life actually was. I just can't explain it. It was just, yeah. I don't know how to explain it. It was crazy. It was crazy. So that was that now. I've gone back to school. My first day, I will never forget this though. My first day of going back to school, for me, I absolutely hated it. I was so scared. I remember my mum dropping me back to school on the first day back and me not really knowing where I was with many people and like how things were going to be. I didn't know if I was ready for the questions. I didn't know if I was ready for the conversations. I didn't know if there was going to be a lot of isolation for me. I didn't know how things was going to go. And that was really tricky. And I think I'm making this all sound like really light, but it was actually horrid. It was horrible. But I had to do it because I had to do my GCSEs and I couldn't do my exams from home. All that studying and that schoolwork that I did from home, that time period was done. It was time for me to basically just go back to school, act like everything was normal. And it wasn't really at all. So yeah, there was that. Life just went on. But what I will say is that during that period of me actually studying from home and going back to school, I had a meeting at my school that my mum and dad had to come to. That meeting was basically a meeting to discuss whether I was going to be allowed to actually officially come back to the school or if I had to go and find a new school. Long story short. And these type of conversations aren't talked about. because I was technically probably like the first teen pregnancy in that school, whatever, they looked at me as a bad influence, and my mum and dad basically had to have a heated discussion. It did get quite heated, and it got heated in a sense of my mum and dad couldn't believe what they were saying. And what they were saying is basically, because I'm the first teen mum in this school, it gives the school a bad name, and it also is a bad influence to those around me. And they don't want it to basically be a domino effect and then it be what the school is known for. That was really hard to hear. I had a secondary school partner, boyfriend, whatever you want to call it, and we was together throughout the years, okay? So it's not like I was a bad influence. It was just horrible to be classed as that. That wasn't what and who I was. So to have that name floating over you after you've just had a baby and your life has completely changed, that was difficult. That was extremely difficult, and especially down to the fact that they wanted to get rid of me and they didn't want to get rid of the male in this situation. That was tricky. For that to be the world that we live in, that's not nice. The reason why they had to basically keep me in is because my mum and dad then argued the fact that I didn't have bad grades. So they had to look at my grades and be like, oh, they had to weigh things up. Like, you're saying my daughter's this, but is she really? And I wasn't. I stand on that. Sorry, I wasn't. Listen, I was doing what a lot of females were doing. I just got a blessing from it. And that is how I look at it. And that's how I'll always look at it. I just got a blessing from it. And that's that. God gave me that blessing. I've taken it. Thank you. We move. What being a young mum taught me. I had a conversation with a parent at Anton's football the other day. And he really broke things down to me. And you know what? The person I am today is literally down to Anton. Like, I can't express how me going through teen pregnancy with Anton literally made me the woman I am today. And the woman I am today, I'm quite proud of the woman I am today. I'm quite proud. Okay, I think I'm cool or whatever. But my work ethic, my discipline, my independent, like everything is down to Anton. Me having Anton at that age literally forced me to be the person I am today. And without that, I don't know where I would be. Like, I think I'd be lazy, me personally. I think I would have been a lazy little girl. But if I look back at everything that I achieved since having Anton, it could only be down to that boy. Like, I did my GCSEs. I went to college. I finished college. I went to university. I only did 2 out of 3 years, but not because of being a mother. I only did 2 out of 3 years because I actually realised it just wasn't for me. I've had good jobs. I've been blessed with good jobs. I've been a self-employed personal trainer for a long amount of time. Obviously, I no longer do that, but it was a long period of time, good few years. Yeah, like I continued to achieve after having Anton, and I have to say that is down to him, because I wouldn't have been like so destined for greatness if it wasn't for him. I wouldn't have pushed the way that I push if it wasn't for him, because I wouldn't have had to. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I wouldn't have had to do those things, because I would have just been living a normal teenager life, which there's nothing wrong with that. So as I mentioned before, I wanted to go over like being a teen mum, but obviously not having other teen mums around you. It's no different to like being a mum. Let's say, for example, you're, I don't know, okay, I'm 28. Not all my friends have kids. Do you get what I mean? So they're not all going to understand what I go through on a daily basis. The same way I won't understand what they go through on a daily basis not having kids. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's the same thing when being a teen mum as well. The only thing with like being a teen mum is that you almost get fear of missing out. I at my age now, personally, I don't get fear of missing out in it. But as a teenager, of course I did. I got fear of missing out. And the truth is, I still gave my mum teenager problems. Do you get it? And I think I was still able to give her teenager problems because my mum still gave me kind of like the freedom that a teenager has. So I did the party holidays, I went out, I enjoyed my summers and whatever. I still did that, but probably a lot less than my friends did, which is fine. Now that I look back at it, I actually didn't have fear of missing out that much. Obviously, there were certain times I did, but I was actually okay being in my little bubble and being a mum and it just being me and Anton. Like, I don't know, I kind of enjoyed it. So I didn't get fear of missing out that much. I did slightly, but not that much. You don't get what I'm trying to say, right? But yeah, I wanted to talk about basically, because I think a lot of people still think, did I not go through what teenagers went through? And I still went through that. Do you know what I mean? I was still a teenager. I still went through those ages. I still went through those years. I still gave my mum trouble of getting home late sometimes, or, you know, turning off my phone when I shouldn't, when I was out. I still went through that period of my life. Just probably not as much as my friends did. But yeah, like, being a teen mum and not having other teen mums around you is the same as like being a mum at the age I am now and not having other friends that have kids as well. Like, you still feel not the same pressure, but you still feel the same differences or the same challenges. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, I wouldn't really say that much changed. Yes, I wouldn't really say that period affected me in regards to like my friends not having kids. I understood it. Do you get what I mean? Like, I understood the age we was. I understood that the situation I was in was kind of like a irregular situation. It wasn't very common. I can't say much has changed from then to now. Some of my friends are mothers. Some of them get it. Some of them don't. It is what it is. Do you get what I mean? It's where, obviously, when I was a teen, there was no other teen mums around me. Like, none. But that's fine. I get it. I understand it. I was in a different situation. Okay? But yeah, I just wanted to kind of like highlight that, because just in case there is teen mums out there at the moment that feel quite lonely, I do think it is a normal feeling. And I think no matter what age you are, I do think that every mother goes through that lonely period. And I just think it comes along with motherhood, parenthood, whatever you want to call it. I think it comes along with that because you've kind of left one life behind and entered a new era. And whenever you enter new eras, you're always going to go through that isolated time, that isolated period. And I think that that's absolutely fine. Everyone goes through that lonely period. I'm a grown-ass woman now, got 2 kids, and I'm pretty sure right after having Zion, I went through that period for a very long time. Probably only really came out of it like once Zion hit like 1.5. So yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that because I do feel like the lonely period is a real time. It's a real time. So yeah, that's that. Okay, so let me touch on like how life is now. So as I stated at the beginning, I'm a mother of 2. So I've got 2 amazing boys. And do you know what? The honest truth is, life now isn't how I pictured it, because I honestly thought after having Anton, because I had him so young, I was in no rush to have any more kids, no rush whatsoever. And it was pretty much just me and Anton for a very, 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 very long time. I'm talking like 10 to 11 years. So 11 years. So I actually thought I was going to be one of those one and done people, and thank God I didn't go down that direction. Otherwise we wouldn't be where we are now with me having 2 amazing little boys. So yeah, thanking God. God's plan all the time. But yeah, like, if you told me that this was going to be my life just after having Anton, I wouldn't have believed you, because I was so like, I had made that decision that it was just going to be me and Anton. I was going to have my one son who was going to grow up and basically be my security guard. And that is what Anton actually technically is right now. But I literally just thought it was going to be me and Anton, and I was okay with that. This is another message to the teen mums that kind of go through that period after having their child and go into a mindset of this just being one and done, not doing this again, this is too much, You have to kind of bear in mind that that might be your mindset then, or now, shall I say, if you're in this current situation, and that might be your mindset now because you're currently going through it. And when I say going through it, I mean you're going through the stage of trying to get comfortable again, understanding yourself and kind of being strict on yourself and thinking like, I'm never doing this again because when I did it last time, I was so young, I wasn't prepared. Da, 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 da. Listen, sometimes no matter what age you are, nobody is really prepared for motherhood. So yes, you did it at a younger age, but just look at it as your blessing. Look at it as God put you in a position to kind of go through this experience now so that you're ready for your next experience. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I don't want anybody to kind of go through the mindset that I went through of just being one and done just because of what your experience was on your first time round. Because if that was the case, like I said, I wouldn't have my second beautiful boy. And that sounds weird to me. Like my life now, having 2 boys, I was made for this. Do you get what I mean? So I say this to basically just say, just allow your life to go the way it's planned for you, and don't put any restrictions just because you have gone through a certain experience at a certain time in your life when you was young and now you feel like you're speaking for your future. Like, I don't think that that's how it should go, unless you've always been that person that's like, oh, I just want one child, and that's different. But I say this because I just don't want people to put restrictions on their life due to an experience that they've had at such a young age. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Because I basically want to be seen as you lot's big sister to basically tell you that everything is going to be all right. And yes, she was a young mom, but it's okay. It's okay. And it's okay to go for round 2 and then have a beautiful family. So yeah, like, I do get it. I do get it, girlies. I do get it. But yeah, don't place restrictions, basically. Everything's going to work out. And you know what? You was made to be a mother. You know, you was made to be a mother. So yeah, people, as like I come to the end of this video, I kind of want you lot to take so much from this video. So obviously I want you to take my experience from it, but I also want you to take from it like, I'm here to talk if you want to. Like, I want this video to like open up a space for young moms, teen moms, I don't know, people who are currently like around my age but you was once a teen mom. I want to open up a space for us to all talk and have a safe space, because I don't think there's enough safe spaces. And us teen mums, obviously I'm not a teen mum anymore, but I was, we deserve a safe space to speak. Do you get what I mean? And I just want to be your big sister and open up this space to do that. I want people to use this video and learn from it, whether you be a male or female. I want everybody to take from this video. And the thing is, I say teen mum because that was my experience, but I also understand that there's teen dads out there as well. So this can also open up a space for you guys as well. Teen parents, let's do that. Teen parents, let's talk, let's have a conversation. My DMs are always going to be open on my Instagram as well for you guys to have a conversation with me. And I just really hope that this video opens you lot's eyes a little bit more. And yeah, I don't know if there's anything that I've really missed, because I've kind of like sped through the video because I didn't want the video to be too long. But I feel like I've touched all the main points that I kind of went through and like where I am now, and tried to get you guys to see the positive side of things. So yeah, I kind of hope I've done this. So yeah, like, go in the comments, let's have more of a conversation. Yeah, I don't know, whatever you want to do. I don't know, but yeah, I hope you guys can appreciate this video, and I hope you've watched it all the way to the end. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll be back soon basically for my next video. Not sure what my next video is going to be yet, but it will be soon. So yeah, bye guys, have a lovely day.